Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I'm Kathy Rhodes. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to challenge you to think differently about your presentation skills, your speaking skills. I know what some of you are thinking. I'm not a speaker. I don't like speaking in front of people. I am never going to like it. We're going to fast forward. Nope, stop. You're not going to fast forward real quick. I get it. You might not be on stages speaking to thousands of people, but you're a speaker because you speak to people every day. You're always speaking to people, whether it's stories you're telling or just informal conversations or directions within the workplace. You're always speaking. So there's just a few skills that we all need to know. So what I hope to do today is just kind of give you some little tidbits that you can keep in mind the next time you're speaking to a human being. You're going to go on a journey with me back about 3 years. 3 years ago, I entered a storytelling contest. Now, granted, that contest was for professional speakers, but that's beside the point. Okay, so I entered this through the National Speakers Association. Each chapter was putting on their own event, and the state of Wisconsin, this was the event that I entered. Whoever wins goes on to regionals and then nationals. So I entered the contest, and I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 of us were competing against each other. I didn't win, I didn't place, and then I got my video a few weeks later, and I was horrified. It was horrible. Horrible. I was embarrassed. My family was there, my son and his wife and my husband, and it was horrible. I was like a robot. I was scripted. I was unanimated. It just wasn't me. Well, that got my attitude going. You know, sometimes I guess attitude is good for us. Got my attitude going. So this next year, when the contest came about again, I entered with that attitude. I was not going to let myself be what I was the year before. I was going to be me. I was going to be me. So I went into that contest and I had fun. I mean, I practiced over 60 some times. I had a script, but I practiced so much that I got past that scriptedness. I got more animated and I got more of my emotions or my attitude into it. And I did. I had fun. And I won. I won. I won the Wisconsin chapter storytelling contest. And then I watched the video and yeah, that's more like me. By the way, you can click on the link below and you can see the video of my winning story. That's not what this is about though, okay? So then we fast forward another year, and since I won the previous year, I had the opportunity to judge this past year's storytelling contest. That's a whole beast in itself. There's nothing easy about judging something live, But here's what I really started to analyze. You know, when you're not in the contest, you see things differently, and you just pay attention to stories in general. And what I really started to analyze and realize, and it's not about the stories in that contest that I judged, it's just all in general, is you got 2 kinds of people. You got people who tell stories because they did something really cool, and you got people who tell stories because they learned a really powerful lesson. Which comes first? Like when you figure out a story to tell, are you telling something because it's just a story, it's cool, it's something you did? Or are you telling because there's a learning lesson to go with the story? You know, you've got some really cool speakers out there that have done some amazing things, whether it's, you know, climbing a huge mountain or a sports conquering or you know, I mean, there's some amazing stories out there, and many speakers are hired because of their story. But in the storytelling contest, the people who win take a really simple scenario or story and they add it to a learning lesson or an action item or the point of the story. Which comes first? Which should come first? The point, the action item, the learning lesson. Every story that we tell in life really should be because of a learning lesson that we're trying to get across. And when you develop your stories or scenarios with the lesson in mind, all of it's so much more powerful. My story was about flying airplanes. That's a cool story, right? I did it at age 15, 16, 17 years old. And to do it so young, that's a cool story. But that's not the point of why I wanted to share a story. I mean, when you watch my control story, it's about how we react or how we want to stay in control and what should we do when we feel like, oh, we are out of control. It's the point that I want people to really get behind. Now, I've listened to a lot of stories out there that I wonder, why are you telling me this? What's the point? Or, wow, there's way too many details. You could have left out that whole 25 minutes and just gotten to this part of the story. So you know what? Just consider things like that. When you're telling stories, when you're talking to people, consider the point first. What's that learning lesson? What's that action item that you want people to walk away with? And then simplify your story so that you're only sharing really the nuts and bolts and the details that help them remember the learning lesson. And that's really how our brain works. We do remember stories. Stories are powerful. We stay engaged in a conversation because the story kind of draws us in and the story puts us in that location or that position. We feel like we're right there. Stories are powerful as long as you have a powerful point in the end, as long as you have that action item. And when people need you again in their life, when, for example, when they're out of control, I hope they can remember my flying story. I hope they can remember when I put the airplane into a spin. I hope they can remember to just let go when there's so much control that they'd rather have. So go ahead, watch my control story and think about all your stories. What's the point? I hope this episode today is getting you to think differently. Think differently about how you communicate with other people. What's the message that you really want to get across? We'll see you all next time. I hope this topic has challenged you to think differently as you strive to grow from success to world class. Please follow this podcast, share it with your friends, and follow me and Unity Consulting on all social platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website, unityconsultingllc.com. I look forward to connecting with you next time to challenge your habits so that you are more efficient and fully empowered.